What's up, everyone? You're tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show featuring the best unsigned rock and metal that Pennsylvania has to offer. Right at the top of the show, we heard from the Scarlet Goodbye and their track She's a Fire, and the Despair Collective and their track Retribution. This is episode number 820. You were probably listening to us on musicfrom412.com, buildthescene.com, xrpradio.co.uk, KD, let me try that again, kdubradio.com, megarockradio.net, 107.1 FM, KFGD in St. Louis, Missouri. And I feel like I probably forgot somebody, but we'll go with the flow. With me tonight is Laura. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Is it Rullo?
It is Rullo. Yes. Okay. I get Rullo. I get lots of other things that aren't even close, but however you want to say it is good.
I have a long Italian last name that people butcher all the time, so I try and get everybody's name right. I have a meme saved somewhere that says my last name has been mispronounced so many times, I'm not even sure that I say it right anymore.
It's usually my first name that people mess up. I get Lauren or I get Lori or something like that.
So let's start out with the obvious. You're a little younger than most of my guests, and you probably have just as much time on the stage from what I was reading. How long have you been playing?
I started playing piano when I was 5 years old, and then shortly after that, I wanted to learn how to sing. I had a really good teacher. She would come to our house and give us private lessons, so I had her for a good number of years. And she played the guitar, so I wanted to learn to play the guitar shortly after that. But I started gigging when I was around 12 years old, so I started getting into the open mic scene and doing a lot of, things that pretty much anybody can just jump up. And then people started offering me gigs shortly after that, and I'm like, that sounds scary. But I got into it, and it took me a really long time to, get comfortable with the crowd and start writing my own songs. And then after I started writing my own songs, I have to get comfortable with playing the songs and telling people that they're my songs. But once I got comfortable with it, I really developed a love for being on stage and performing in front of people and just making people smile.
So the songwriting process for you, I know that I think it was Invisible was the first single. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So in the bio that I read, it said that was your first single, but you had written more prior to that.
Yes.
How many songs do you have in your repertoire that are just yours?
Oh, geez. I've probably written close to like 25, 30 songs so far. I don't play all of them live for various reasons, but, not every original stays with you, and you develop new concepts and you write new songs and you kind of pick and choose which ones you play live when. But I've written lots and lots of songs, and I really enjoy it. I have a sweet spot in my heart for writing, for sure.
How do the songs usually come to you? Like, do you get a riff first, or do you get the lyrics first?
It's different every time. Sometimes songwriting, if you're a writer and you've been doing it long enough, sometimes, you'll just be doing something and it becomes like just breathing or talking. Like it comes that naturally. Sometimes I'll go months without writing a song because I have writer's block and it'll take me a while. But there have been some songs that I've written, like maybe I'll write the bridge first, or maybe I'll write the chorus first, or I'll write a verse or like an intro, but it's different every time. And you get different ideas from different things depending on what you're doing. I've written songs in the middle of the night, like where I've had to get up. I wrote one song on a bike ride outside, just in my head. I've written songs on napkins. Like when I went to school, I jot it down on a napkin and then write it on something better when I came home. But it's different every time, and you never know.
So this is your first album, and you told me
Yes.
off the air that you're working on getting it finished up. Where that? Let me try that again. Where were you recording it?
I am recording at Daniel Blake Production. That is in Hunker, PA, so the Hunker Armbrust area. Dan's a great guy, and I'd recommend him to anyone that's thinking about recording or doing anything along that lines. And even when you're not recording, he's just a great guy to hang out with. He plays pretty much every instrument you can think of, and he's great at it. He really puts a lot of time into what he does, and you can tell he's taken a lot of time to hone his craft, and he puts a lot of thought into you, and you're not just there. You know, you're as soon as you step in, you're part of that family.
Now, on your recordings, I listened to like 30 seconds of each of them today. I'd listened to them in the past, but come, on Mondays I come home from school. Now you have to get all this stuff ready, and then I panic. Oh no, I forget who I'm interviewing. Um, um, what is it? Just you on it, or are there other musicians?
Well, that's a very good question because we thought it was just going to be me. And like my dad's been a drummer for a number of years since he was in high school. He did drumline back in high school and he did some drumming with our worship band when we were in church. We actually just left our church, but we've kind of been church hopping. So he hasn't really had an opportunity to drum other than, you know, when he's working on stuff with me. He had, he had the tambourine part on Invisible. So that was fun. He got to sit there and bang the tambourine, so he kind of made a bigger deal out of that than it was, but it was really fun. We have a number of people coming in to sing because there's one part on the one song that's going to be on the album that there's one part where, you know, a bunch of people join in with me and sing, so that's going to be lots of fun. We got a couple different people coming in to the studio this Tuesday. Actually, we're going to be working on that, so obviously my producer has done some work with me on that. We're thinking of maybe having some mandolin on there, and I don't play the mandolin, so we're going to see if maybe we can get somebody to come in and do that as well. But there are definitely going to be some other people featured on the album. I'm excited about it.
So I know of the tracks Invisible and Things Change. How many tracks are on the album or planned?
Uh, we're planning for nine.
And
Nine songs.
is there a release date for it?
We're thinking summer, around the summertime. We have 4 songs completed, so we still got a little way to go here. But we're thinking like mid-summer, possibly end of summer, but I don't think it'll take that long for it to be done because we've been making really good progress. So we're thinking maybe like June, July, that kind of thing.
So earlier you mentioned gigging, and how hard is it to get a show because of your age? Liquor control board thing.
Yeah, so being 15, it is hard sometimes because, you know, places have rules about like you can't be in past 9 o'clock if you're 21, if they have a bar, if they don't serve food past 9 o'clock or whatever. My dad helps me. My dad, I don't know what I'd do without him because he does the majority of emailing, you know, during the day when like I'm busy with school and things like that. Obviously, you know, I reach out to people too and I help with booking because it's my stuff. So, you know, I kind of have to. But at first, when I first started doing this when I was 12, you know, I might have had like, I don't know, 3 gigs every 4 or 5 months, maybe. So, you know, not bad for a 12-year-old, but not, you know, I wanted to get myself out there. Last year I played 98 shows, and this year we have, I believe, 96 booked. So we're headed for 100 gigs this year. So it's kind of insane, to be honest. I'm looking at my schedule kind of a little worried a little bit sometimes, but I don't know why I worry because I get up there and it's always lots and lots of fun. So people make it a party.
So I while you were talking about shows, I pulled up your calendar, just April, and
Yeah,
it's pretty full.
it is pretty full. Yeah.
Um, Pennsylvania Pipeline Music TV interview. That sounds cool. I'm gonna
Yes.
look that up.
Yeah, that is cool. They're in Montoursville, PA, so that's a bit of a drive. We've never done that before, but we've seen quite a few local artists that have been on there, so I'm excited to check it out.
So while I have your website up, I'm going to go ahead and click on store.
Yeah.
And,
We just did some updates to the website, so it's still kind of in the process of being updated because it needed a little bit of updating. So merch, I don't think is up and running quite yet. Everything else should be there and up and running though. So
and that website address, if you wouldn't mind saying it for everybody.
yeah, so if you type in rockwithlaura.com, that was the old website address, but now it's Laura Rullo Music. So if you laurarullomusic.com. So if you type in either, it'll take you to the right place.
Because I had the wrong one up there when I opened it.
Oh, it's all good. No, it's kind of confusing, honestly, because at first we tried to get Laura Rullo music and then couldn't, so it ended up being Rock with Laura, and then we ended up getting Laura Rullo music. So either one.
Okay. Hey, we're going to take our first break, and we are
All
going
right.
to listen to "Invisible" and "Things Change" by Laura Rullo, and we will be right back.
All right.